Today I'm going to be taking a look at the EMAX Tinyhawk Adventure Lite Ready to Fly package. It's an almost identical package to the previous Tinyhawk Lite Ready to Fly kit, only this time the model is designed for flying purely outdoors. In the box we have the model itself. Annoyingly, EMAX have changed the colour of the quad since sending it out to me. It's a sort of purple colour now rather than all being white. So it's a 150mm frame with brushed motors, and it's got a 25 to 400 milliwatt analog video transmitter. This time you can see that the props are completely unprotected, unlike the non-adventure version. And this is a risky move, as one of the main killers of brushed motors is the shaft getting bent in a crash and burning the motor out. It's why we moved away from them, especially for beginners who are crashing more often. Brushed motors are cheap to replace, and that's the trade-off with going for a cheaper package like this. There's no lost model alarm on this quad either, which is not beginner friendly, so I'd stay away from long grass while you are flying. Also, don't try to arm the motors if you have crashed in long grass to sort of make a noise due to the lack of a lost model alarm. Them getting caught up in grass can also burn them out. The props are 65mm. The model is fully set up with Betaflight, so there's no need to tinker with any of the settings. In fact, EMAX advises against that. Its onboard receiver is Express LRS based, but it's an SPI receiver, meaning that you are reliant on EMAX for any hopes of it being compatible with future versions of Express LRS. The battery this time is annoyingly semi-proprietary. It's an 850mAh 1S with EMAX's bespoke connector. You can use other EMAX batteries with this, but you would have to attach them with a rubber band or a custom 3D print, which is not beginner friendly. You only get one battery in the package as well, which won't be enough to keep you in the air. Then we have two antennas for the goggles, some spare props and spare EMAX connectors for the battery. I personally would not be recommending beginners soldering up battery connectors and making custom batteries. There's a prop removal tool as well. You get a bunch of cards with information on them, again aimed at beginners. The goggles are the same as before, so they extend out to try and make viewing a bit more comfortable, but even with this I find it a strain on my eyes. There's not much room for glasses in there either. The goggles come apart to be either a monitor that can attach to the controller or to be viewed as a cheap goggle. There's no built-in DVR, so you can't record your flights, and this again is a problem if you are a beginner, because we rely on a DVR not just to view our footage back, but if you have lost your model in long grass, you can often look back at your DVR and find out where it is. So with this one we have no lost model alarm and no DVR to look back on. Interestingly, with this particular package, there seems to be a built-in battery saver switch. This wasn't on the Tinyhawk Lite originally. The monitor won't turn on unless you flip this switch. As before, we have the clamp that fixes the monitor to the transmitter, a USB-C cable for charging up the goggles and transmitter, then a separate charger for the quad's battery, and some tools and spare screws. The transmitter is EMAX's E8 transmitter. Again, this is an ELRS based transmitter, but it's not supported officially by Express LRS. Therefore, it's not future-proof and you are reliant on EMAX for any updates. We just have an arming switch which arms the quad into air mode so the props don't stop spinning on low throttle. Then we have a mode switch which changes between angle mode, horizon and full acro. It does come with its own 18650 battery, which is nice, and you can use the transmitter with a simulator, which is great for beginners. It's a heavy model for its size, despite the name. It's light in cost, not light in weight. It's around 60 grams without a battery and over 80 grams with a battery. A quick check shows that everything turns on out of the box and everything is bound to each other. You will just need to properly charge everything before flying. Okay, the Tinyhawk Adventure Lite. So it's a windy day here today. I'm going to start off in air mode, and what you sometimes find with brushed motors is that you arm the motors, and it takes a second for the motors to spool up. So you can see here now, I'm getting an overheating warning, so let's get it in the air and hopefully that'll cool down. It wasn't on the ground for very long, but it is sunny here today. So I'm recording the DVR here with my Fat Shark HDO2 goggles, something you can't do with this package. Oh, there we go. Right, we've cooled down. Yeah, so that's really the only reason I'm able to fly over sort of long grass, is because I can rely on the DVR if it goes down. So no lost model alarm, as I stated before, and no DVR in the package. That's interesting though, getting a heat warning. It is a hot day here today, about 25°C. It was probably only sort of resting on the ground whilst I got set up for under a minute. That's probably down to the fact that the VTX can go up to 400 milliwatt. So if you have it at that high level, it's gonna heat up fast. And 400 milliwatt probably is overkill, especially in a field like this. You won't need it. Now what I am seeing on this is we do have a little bit of electrical noise filtering through to the feed. Don't know if that will show on the DVR, but sort of black lines. And this DVR is also attached to goggles that have a rapid fire module as well. Oh, that was interesting. So the quad sort of got low there and I punched the throttle and it didn't really go anywhere. And that's another thing you get with brush models versus brushless, is you don't have the instant power. You can only really cruise around with them. Let's go for full throttle, see if we get any brownouts. That's full throttle there. Yeah, so you're not going to be doing crazy aerobatics with this. It's really just for cruising around. And the rates are docile as well. If we go behind these trees here, I'm out of the line of sight of me now. Oh, yeah. You have to be really careful on the throttle. Not like a brushless quad where you can just punch up and get out of trouble. If the thing's descending, you need to be back on the throttle. I do kind of want to try a roll, but it could be risky. It hovers at about 40% throttle. But then when it starts to lose height, it's sort of more, 80% throttle to recover. So it's 100% throttle. Oh, we can do acro, we just need momentum. I got a low battery one in there, just because it's sagging, I think, the battery. Okay, we can do some rolls and things, but make sure you've got a lot of height on and forward momentum, then you won't lose too much height. There we go. And what I want to do, but I'll come closer to do it, is try the angle mode. So if I flip into angle, you see ANGL. You need to be careful if you're a beginner outside in this mode, because it's windy today and the wind can take you away and your control input. So I'm nearly full control input to move it forward into the wind. We're getting low battery now, so horizon mode. Again, that will stabilize itself, but you'll have a roll at the end of it. but yeah, battery's getting low. So where are we? So that's a 5-minute flight time. It's not too bad. What are we at? 3. Yeah, okay, so we need to come in for a landing there. It's a nice model, you know, okay for a beginner. Doesn't have the performance to get you out of trouble, but at the same time, a beginner doesn't want that crazy performance that can also get you into trouble. So it's okay, but yeah, it is what it is. So there you go, that is my review. Our video's about to kick out, so I'll disarm. That's my review of the Tinyhawk Adventure Lite. It is a nice model. It's very cheap, and just be aware, no lost model alarm, no DVR. I know I keep banging on about it, but it's important to retrieve your model as a beginner because you will crash. Thanks for watching. Cheers.